This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
He's going to show us now!
And a big good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along back to Formula Virtual Racing. It's Saturday night, you know what that means. We have a fabulous race on our hands here for you live from Sao Paulo. It is the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pachi live from Interlagos, and it is actually just about started to rain in qualifying, so we're going to have a pretty hectic start here, I think, but without no hesitation. Brendan, how are you keeping?
I'm doing very well, so I would say that just a hint of rain there, and that would explain why particularly these nights of Legend are out so early. Because when you realise that you have to get out, get in onto the track, and do a lap as quickly as possible, because it could be very much intermediate conditions by the time first runs are done. So it could be just about who gets out first, gets to the line first, and Rosenberg, which he usually tends to do. Well, he usually tends to be first in a lot of things. He is, although I think it is Yasin who might be the first one to start on lap here, so we probably should keep an eye on him.
I think it's raining. I'm not sure if I'm seeing things or if it is genuinely raining. But oh, that's actually Avesta Badi who's spun out of the pit lane. That's not a great start to proceedings necessarily for him. But here comes Yafin Panguru, German driver, of course, racing for Alfa Romeo. Brazil has brought surprise pole positions when it started to rain early in sessions. I think the world may potentially stop spinning on its axis if Yafin Panguru took pole position here for this Brazilian Grand Prix, but never say never in a motorsport environment. Here comes Panguru heading up through Ferradura of turn number 6 and 7, and then in towards turn number 8, and then up towards my favourite corner, the Bico de Pato. No relation to IndyCar driver, but I'll associate when I can.
Well, that is very well timed reference, I must say, although it seems like Legend, well, if there was rain, it wasn't really affecting him. Actually, Borbune is the first there, 108.8.
I think the rain might have actually stopped.
Next. So I think this track's... Yeah, maybe people were just slightly worried. But I think that it could have been just a little bit Brazil weather. You see, Yasin 109.4. And I think Rosenberg will be next, so this could be the real benchmark of the session. And it is.
That's a 107.473 for Rosenberg. 1 second clear of his teammate Conor Rochford, who just crosses the line. However, let's see how it compares to your new championship leader. The double world champion Luke Davies leads the championship for the first time this season after a very successful Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Oh my.
Ooh, that's a gap. It's 0.543 between Legend Rosenberg and Lightning Luke Davies. That's a bit of a sickener for Luke, but I definitely think he can close that deficit maybe throughout the course of the evening, as Tyler Davison beats Luke Davies as well. So that's another bit of a sinking feeling for Luke, maybe to be beaten by the man who is just a couple of points behind him in the championship. Avesta was purple in the first sector. He's now backed off in his Scuderia Ferrari. No Lewis McWilliam here this evening, but from a constructor's perspective, Alpine have a former teammate of Lewis. It's Tyler Pastilli, the Canadian, who's gone in for the Alpine. Leroy Vinchendel has gone to fourth.
I just want to point out Albert on the wets, and he has been cutting some grass.
No, it's a Kyle thing to do. He'll be reported by Tim Dunhire, and he'll pick up 2 penalty points.
Oh, yeah, actually, that is a point to make. We did make some little changes to regulations, didn't we?
We did, absolutely. The pit lane rules have changed. As
yeah.
Yeah, the pit lane rules have changed. It is different now. I'm trying to see, can we catch someone maybe going into the pit lane? Will Avesta Badi? No, he started another lap. Kyle Albert, for some scary reason, is not going into the pit lane. Is Tyler Davison going to go into the pit lane? He will be soon enough, so we might save it for then. Let's see how Avesta Badi is tracking on his lap. In the meanwhile, he's not tracking too well. That's off the circuit as Christian Collins actually goes to fourth. The debutant here this evening, Christian Collins. That's a great lap from him. Beats Leroy Vinchendel. As is Tyler about to go into the pit lane? Yes, he is. So, new pit lane rule. Tyler is not going to demonstrate it here, but you are allowed to cross the white line with 2 wheels. So, as you can see, it's almost like he knows I'm trying to make a point here, and that's probably the cleanest pit entrance we've had all season. But you can cross the white line with 2 tyres, and another rule to stop petty reporting. I know the United Kingdom likes its petty politics, but we have petty reporting in Formula Virtual Racing. Is you've got to physically see the car do it to report him. It'd be like anything with any other incident. You can't basically rewatch everyone's live streams and spend your entire Saturday night doing that to try and get someone or a penalty. You can't do that anymore. You got to physically see them do it. And also you're allowed to cross it with 2 lines. So it's less lenient, I suppose, Brendan. It is way less lenient. Or it is way more lenient, I should say. It's less strict.
Yeah, I think it would mean that if you actually get a penalty, it's because you genuinely should not have been where you were, rather than maybe just something slightly unfortunate. However, I think the main difference there would be who can report it, because before that, it would nearly akin the rule to get a life rule in a way, because you would often see some drivers who have no benefit to gain from reporting, or like either through somebody else's failure or their own moving up the order. But now, obviously, you kind of have to see them at a minimum, and then it's like, if you are going to report them, it's for an actual proper reason to help you, rather than just trying to do over somebody you don't like.
Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. God knows what's going on inside my door. But Tim Dunhire has gone to nice. It's a nice sunny afternoon here in Interlagos. I'm not sure where that rain went, but it's nice and sunny. And Dunhire just pips his teammate Niels Hartland, goes to 9th. Tim currently racing in a 24 hours of Spa-Francorchamps endurance race. He's decided to do this in the middle of it. Madman. But we wish him and the whole Spider GT team, friends of the show, we wish them the best of luck in their endeavours around the charity Spa-Francorchamps race. You can check out the Spider GT stuff. I'm sure Kyle, Tim, Liam, and then a couple of our GT drivers will appreciate us giving them the shout out. Speaking of GT drivers, remember, FVR Gran Turismo Championship starts live on April 19th. We've got a fantastic bunch of drivers, including myself, in that championship. 2 tiers actually we're going to have as well, so there'll be double live streams, hopefully, if all works out okay. But yeah, very much looking forward to that one, Gran Turismo Championship. If you do want to race in it, of course, you can still sign up. Sign-ups and evaluations both still being accepted, so plenty of time. You got until April 12th if you'd like to race in the first round, but you could sign up whenever, really. You just might be guaranteed a seat. That's the same with any tier. Here comes Luke Davies across the start-finish line then. That is a bit better from Luke Davies. That's onto the front row of the grid, and he is less than 4 tenths behind Legend. This is kind of typical Legend Rosenberg showmanship, I suppose, where he sets a banker time and then the rest of the qualifying is just everybody else trying to beat it. One man who does have the potential to beat it, though, that is Avesta Badi.
Yeah, Professor Gabati does have the raw pace to compete with Rosenberg. Some might say could arguably better than Davies or Davison's. But the big problem for Gabati is that it does not have the ability to piece it all together. And it seems like this lap won't be pieced together.
No!
On that lap.
Oh,
No.
That's going to be that's going to be no further part in qualifying next week for Avesta. That's a
wait a minute.
Wow.
That's an out lap.
Yes, Nils is on an outlap. Avesta's got away with one there, well and truly, because that is a definite major qualifying impediment. If he had done that, Legend Rosenberg increases the margin, only marginally, mind you, but an increasement nonetheless. And Tyler Davison pips Luke Davies back onto the front row, so good qualifying lap there from Tyler. Still 8 minutes to go in the session, plenty of changes could still happen, but that is it's very positive from Tyler. The fact he's, I suppose, only 3/10 off Legend in a qualifying sense, because I think it's safe to say this, and I think Tyler would agree, qualifying is not his strong suit. It's certainly not his speciality. So you can put in a good qualifying performance here. It might bode very well for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that is usually accepted. Tyler's a bit quicker in the race and qualifying, but let's see that Tyler is close enough to Legend at the moment. But, and again, Rosenberg is very much his quality and pace are on that same real high level. What you get in qualifying is probably going to be similar to in the race in comparison. But that's what there. And I think is Gabati. He is purple sector 2 has come up as, but we don't know.
He's actually going to finish the lap.
Yeah, and his ERS is going to conk out. It has, and that's good enough for 4th. But I imagine that ERS might have lost him a little bit of time there. Yeah,
definitely. And he has a lap on the board now. He can beat that. But he's up there. He's no longer 17th in the session. He's now 4th. So that's a lot more positive for Avesta, and it's a base to build off. Cam Dulger, currently 9th in qualifying. He's on the back of 2 Driver of the Day performances in Spa and Saudi. He's looking to continue the streak in Sao Paulo. He had an excellent race in Saudi Arabia, and he was less than 1/10 of a second off his first FVR win. You might be thinking he came 2nd. No, he came 3rd. That's how close it was in Saudi Arabia. But an excellent performance nonetheless from Khan. An excellent qualifying performance so far from Christian Collins, a new name you may not be familiar with. Christian currently 5th in session and only 0.6 of a second off the pole position, so that's not a bad job at all by young Christian. Nils Hartl is not improving on his current time lap. Tyler Pastilli is on his very much unique qualifying program, and Kyle Albert is on the right set of tyres. Kyle Albert was in the wall for a second. I think that was just a little bit of lag. Kyle Albert, main driver technically for the next 4 rounds. He'll be stepping in for Enzo King, who is gone for the month of April. He'll be back for the month of May, and he will be back for the remaining couple of rounds of the season. But Kyle will be stepping into the Haas team alongside Nathan Marriott for the foreseeable future, I suppose. But there is a deadline on Kyle. I would say he's looking to impress, but I don't think he cares, really. Oh, that's a crash. That's actually Stumer out.
Oh, exit turn 4. That doesn't look too good. I think Albert's not on a bad lap here by any means. The ERS is going to be a little bit lower, but he'll have enough there for the end of this lap of the run-up. And you see it's 108.2. Not bad from Kyle.
No, that's not bad at all from Kyle Albert. That's a fairly decent run. That's a fairly decent stab at it. And I mean, since he won that race in Abu Dhabi, I think Kyle's pace has been great. He's certainly not a man who puts hours in practice. He kind of just rocks up, sees how it is, and it's a very strong pace from Kyle. 7th. Best result around Interlagos of 4th for Kyle Albert. That was back in season number 3 with Racing Point. or whatever they were called back in Season 3. I think it was Racing Point. It became Aston Martin Season 4. Yeah, it was Racing Point. It was the pink car anyways, because it was Tyler Davison third for Racing Point, Kyle Albert fourth. They finished off the season strong after making amends for crashing into each other at the secure short layout. But 4 minutes to go in qualifying, then it's Conor Rochford who'll be the first man to tackle the last laps, it seems. And I tell you what, Conor Rochford has been an excellent addition to this Red Bull team. You can see in the standings graphic, which has been on your screen a few times, but I'll discuss it now. Fifth in the standings for what is technically a split 2 driver. He is a rookie, it is his first main seat, and he's kind of the backbone to Red Bull's constructors' charge. He's actually doing 2 warm-up laps here, is Rochford, so that's a Lewis Hamilton tactic. But I tell you what, he's been a great assistance to Legend, because Legend knows there's a steady influx of points in the constructors, something maybe he didn't have at points in previous seasons, non-Lewis McWilliams seasons, of course.
Yeah, obviously then McWilliams seasons were very much more Hamilton-Rosberg than, let's say, Hamilton-Bottas. Admittedly not the most apt comparison for Red Bull.
Does the job all the same.
In terms... Yeah. Yeah, but let's say Rochford, while not having absolute blistering pace at any particular track so far, it's always been there, and I think that's probably one of the best things you can have, because it means the base to learn to become quicker it is solid, it is there. I mean, it's like it seems like he's never going to really have a track where it's just not happening, which is rare enough these days, because usually most drivers have a certain preference for a type of track, or 2 or 3 tracks which are just much nicer than the others.
And I tell you what, I think one thing that's helping him a lot is he's very much enjoying his racing. He's enjoying competing at the front of these FVR races, and he's having a good time doing it. If you want to keep track of his progress, he has started a new sim racing Instagram account since the start of the season, so they're tagged in FVR post. You can find it there, but I think it's the same as his name on screen, to be brutally honest. But here comes Conor Rochford through the centre S's and through turn number 3 through the Curva del Sol and onto the Reta Oposta and the Descida del Lago. I'll try refrain from saying those names too many times, but I love saying them. It's an iconic section of track here at Interlagos. Then you're in towards the left-hander of turn number 5 and up towards Ferradura of turn number 6, which is an uphill right-hander, very difficult corner. Then it's turn number 7 of the Curva del, and then a Portuguese word I'll not attempt to pronounce for the sake of being a disgrace to the language. But Rochford, not a bad lap so far. Rosenberg has just got on to his lap. The 2 Red Bulls starting their laps quite early here, Brendan.
Yeah, a little bit early. You'd be thinking why, but Brazil is very much one of them tracks where you could just get invalidations easily. Like you see, if you drift out wide here in turn 4, you could drift out wide up here in turn 6, 7, particularly in the Senna S. You can just don't keep it inside the lines. Like, it's very easy to just invalidate the lap. So that's why you would allow yourself a little bit of time, because it then relaxes the mind. So then you can go around the second time if you really wish, but you probably won't have the ERS for it.
Here comes Legend Rosenberg then, in towards the final corner of Yonsao. He is currently tracking for pole position, to take pole position here in this Grand Prix, and it's up through the uphill left-hander of the, or towards the start-finish line, I should say. It is 10 seconds left on the clock, but I would like to say that's a dead-set pole position for Legend Rosenberg. It's just, what can the rest of them do, really? It's going to be Davies of the top contenders who'll be next across the line. Albert pulls off to the right-hand side, and Can Dulger's session is also finished. Luke Davies has gone purple in the middle sector, but he is up by about 0.2 of a second, so this could still be a fairly competitive lap from Davies. He's looking to beat Tyler Davison up and across the start-finish line. Christian Collins goes to 4th. Luke Davies does not make the front row of the grid. That's very disappointing. If your name is Luke Davies, he would have been looking to beat Tyler, but had a poor final sector. Here comes Avesta Bandi. This is where his battery ran out in this previous lap, so there will be a time gain here. Here comes Avesta Bandi. Is it going to be enough? It is a jump, but it's only the second row of the grid. Tyler Davison is up by 1/10 of a second, but he's already comfortable on that second row of the grid. Excellent job there for Tyler. It's just Yafin Panguru and Tim Den Heyer left to complete their laps. Den Heyer goes to 11th position. Oh, and Tyler Pistilli as well, I should say, and he's usually one to watch in the latter stages of qualifying. Yafin Panguru, no improvement there for him, and there'll be no improvement for Tyler Pistilli either. It was 9/10 of a second down on his best effort. That'll be qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. The Dutchman of Legend Rosenberg is on pole once again, ahead of Tyler Davison, Avesta Gobadi, Luke Davies, and the new Christian Collins. Folks, we will be back for the Brazilian Grand Prix after a very short commercial break.
He's going to show us now!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. It's a 5.309 kilometre circuit, 2.677 miles with 15 corners, and a lap record held by the fabulous Colombian Juan Pablo Montoya. But we have a lot of fabulous drivers here this evening, Brendan. Which one of them's going to win it?
You have to put your money on Rosenberg here. I think if Davison wants a championship challenge, he may have to grab a win somewhere. And we could just, if somewhere like here where maybe he could be the first in line for us if something goes wrong, maybe.
Yeah, it is something that he probably needs to do. He didn't do it last season, but it was still arguably one of his best seasons in FVR. But really, if you want to win a championship, you're going to win a race at some point. Even if it is just the one, to give yourself that confidence to build off. He has to try and win a race at some point. He has won one race for AlphaTauri in his career. Took that in the Season 10 Dutch Grand Prix. A last lap move in the infamous Davison dummy at the Circuit Zandvoort on Thomas Main. But that was as a reserve driver. You'd think as a main driver, he's got to try and win a race at some point. That could well be tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Big thanks to those tuning in, as here we go. We are on the grid. We have 4, 5 red lights. We are in a fairly dull Sao Paulo as we go racing here in Brazil. That's a great start from Legend Rosenberg. Davison getting away well as well, actually, but he's got Avesta Gobadi, the fabulous Avesta Gobadi, on the outside. There's nudging between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri, and that's put the AlphaTauri under a huge amount of pressure from Luke Davies. It's a horrid start if your name is Tyler Davison, because now you've Conor Rochford all over the back of you as well, looking to try and make moves and get closer to his teammate at the front of this grid. It's Rosenberg, Gobadi, Davies, Davison, Rochford. Then it is Christian Collins running in 6th. Then it is Leroy Vincendel, Kandog, Kyle Albert gaining a spot, and Borbune down in 10th. And some problems, actually, I think, for Stumer.
Yeah, Stumer a little bit off. I think something must have happened with this back three of Yafin and Amar Stumer, because they're all a little bit disconnected from the pack.
Oh wow, and Schumer almost spinning it again, but Davison got a fairly decent start. Then there was a nudge between himself and Avesta, who have come to blows before in Formula Virtual Racing, of course. They most recently, I think it was Monza last season. As Brendan, I can hear your game audio just in case you didn't realise that, was Avesta Gobadi. He is tucked into the slipstream, looking for this one maybe in towards the first corner. There's no hanging about if you're the Ukrainian. If you want any say or any input in this championship, you got to start picking up race wins fairly soon, because the Ferrari man did miss a few rounds. He has had a wobble heading through turn number 3, and Luke Davies might be on the pounce.
Yeah, I think this could be important for Davies, because obviously with Rosenberg where he is, he probably takes championship lead back anyways, but like last season, he just needs to keep it near Rosenberg. Just stick with him and try to limit that gap as much as possible, because when the opportunity does arise, he's usually very good at taking those. You see the possible race strategy saying medium soft or medium hard. So I'd imagine probably going on a little bit into this race before the stops.
The top 11 are also on the medium compounded tyres. That's a fairly consistent base, which would I would have thought maybe Legend might have gone for the hards or something. Maybe there's a surprise strategy at this track or something like that, but nonetheless, Legend Rosenberg, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Bourbion has gone ahead of Kyle Albert on the main straight into the curve of the arc with bancadas of turn number 15, as we see now Tyler Pastilli looking to pounce and get past Kyle as well. This would knock the Haas out of the points. Only Haas driver here this evening, so a lot of responsibility on the new man into the team. This is Pastilli, who had one of his best FVR overtakes in this section of circuit. Wasn't at that corner, won't be at that corner here right now either, as keep an eye on Julius Gassner as well. He started on the softs. Quickest tyre, of course, the soft tyres, but they are the least durable, so they will wear up pretty quickly, and Julius might be under a tad bit of pressure to make it to the estimated pit stop. But for now, Rosenberg comfortable at the top. Gobadi still hot on his heels in second. Davies in third, and Davison down 2 to 4th from his good, strong starting position.
Yeah, I think that Noy Davison, particularly as a Gobadi, just outmuscled him into, started as turn 1 and then completed the move for turn 2. And obviously Davies took advantage, so now that the work done in qualifying is going to be, hasn't really been for much. We do have some action behind them. Rochford has been passed by the new Dividends, so good move.
Yes, Christian Collins, impressive. Bourbion actually has gone. That's Bourbion gone, heading for the Senna S's. I'm not overly sure what's happened to Bourbion, but certainly he slipped down the order and he's down to 15th. A good track.
Reset the track, by the way.
Oh, well, that could be a penalty for Bourbion as well. But a good and bad track for Bourbion. He's performed well around here, but he's had some bad memories as well. Of course, he was almost on course for his first FVR podium around the Brazilian Grand Prix when Juan Hernandez came into contact with Bourbion, but it was just one of those incidents. There was no bad blood between the two drivers. On the other hand, he also won a constructor's title around here with McLaren in Brazil, so it's a bit of hit and miss, bit of both for Bourbion. Unfortunately, so far this evening, it has been for the worse. He's down to 15th, but not out of the race. I don't think he is damaged either, so definitely could still come back.
Yeah, like it's very much it's not over, and if somebody else makes a mistake, then it's up worse than his. You could get a safety car, and then all of a sudden you're back with the pack, and you've got a chance to make some moves. You see, Rosenberg isn't really pulling away. Seems like Gobadi's done a good job of sticking with him, and I think Gobadi a little bit of an outsider now for this championship, very much, because when he sits. Winning the round 2, he hasn't raced, so it isn't exactly attendance and consistency probably hasn't been his strong suit, but if he could get on and maybe get a good result here, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, there's always an opportunity, I suppose, but he's not a driver who likes to make things easy on himself. certainly. But lap 5 of 36 doing a good job here is the Ukrainian. DRS still within his grasp. He's only 0.5 of a second behind the triple world champion at the top of this order. It's all still fairly close. Top 6 haul in one sort of DRS train, then Leroy Van Schendel being dropped. Leroy Van Schendel being overtaken by the very fast Can Dulger. He is up and ahead of Van Schendel. Actually training to be a teacher is Can Dulger. Well, he's just schooled Leroy Van Schendel in towards the Senna S's. Leroy's learned a lesson there. It is very close at the top of this order all of a sudden. Was 1/10 of a second, 1 and a tenth and a half maybe, between Legend and Avesta. But I think that was just slipstream in DRS. Avesta wasn't really looking for a move.
Yeah, I think at the moment we're all just very content to just sit there, not do too much. Maybe Davies is.
Oh, that's
using
Kyle.
up his battery. Oh.
It's disappointing for Robert. He's gone off there. Car still seems okay though, so he might be able to carry on. Well, he will be able to carry on. It's just he's carrying on a few positions lower than he was.
Oh yeah, there was one old man replacing another, and it seems like this one got lost on the track.
End zone card, statistically the two oldest drivers in FVR, the minute. Nils Hartl third, if you are interested, as that is Julius Gasner, who's gone round through Yunsao, and that's the man on the softs. So it's not going too great for Julius since he scored his first points in Belgium. No, in Las Vegas. Sorry, it was. It's not been too successful here for him. Is he going to go for a dive on Nils Hartl? No, he won't. He'll stay behind his fellow German. Avesta just seems to get close in towards turn number 5 every time, but still no move on. We've seen this a lot, I suppose. This is kind of the DRS train that will remain intact until either A, one of them makes a mistake, or B, we have pit stops.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the mistakes here are just people going off track, and there's no actual people hitting the wall, which is a little bit strange enough, because usually somebody will end up in a wall somewhere.
Yeah, but they're spinning at very convenient points for a lazy safety car driver.
Yeah. You'd wonder though, at some point somebody's luck will run out. It seems like Mars Stearmer, it's probably, if this is a phone battery, you'd be trying to put it on battery saver.
Is Morris Stumer on low power mode currently? I think he is, according to Brendan.
Probably low willpower.
Probably. Didn't think he raced in the NTT IndyCar Series, but yeah, Morris has not had a great season, let's put it frank. Oh no, and a man who's not had a great turn number 4 is Christian Collins. That is a really weird place to go off. That would make me think it was an incident with Colin Rochford. But Christian Collins was running a very steady race, having a great debut. And he's fortunately down out of the points now. Oh no, he's back into the points. He gets past Adrian Tisci.
Yeah, I think I've been hoping to get that position, because track position really. If you have it then, it's not too bad. Yeah, obviously Adrian, unfortunate last week with the disconnect, because had he just not had it, he's very much to be on for a very, very good result. But yeah, sometimes things don't go your way. Maybe today where he is 11th already, and might just need one thing to happen for him to get points. It could be a decent race for him here.
I think trying to pick up a point or two every race is the ultimate goal for Adrian Tisci. And I think he does a good job of keeping himself level-headed, keep going for subtle goals. But if he can just pick up points in as many races as he can, that will hopefully build his confidence and then hopefully give him a strong result. That is Kyle Albert gone again, and that's the safety car. That is the safety car come out as Kyle has hit a wall heading through turn number 3. That is the Curva del Sol that he's gone off, and Morris has picked up a 5 for speeding in the pit lane. It is a dreadful race if you're a Ferrari-powered car whose name isn't Avesta Gobadi.
Yeah, seems like he has been the odd one out in terms of Ferrari power. But now I wonder, does anyone think of a pit stop, or is it a little bit too early?
This is intriguing, actually. Let's see what Legend does here.
He is
he?
in, Gabati in, Davison in,
Hard
and
tires to the end, presumably?
Whoa, hang on, did titles go over all four?
Oh no. Could be in trouble with the new pit lane rules. Remember, if you want to check them out, the official wording, you can. The rules and regulations are available in our Discord server. But yeah, it's going to be hard to the end here, it seems, for all the top guys.
I think I'd like to be on board someone behind, to be honest, because I'm going to be honest, if you do go over all four,
if you somehow go over all four, especially in a pit lane that's literally the size of a jumbo jet, such as Intel Argos, you probably deserve a penalty. Speaking of penalties, somehow Kyle and Nils have picked up 2. I mean, this race is either going very well for people, or it's going horrid. There's no in between. There's no one having a mediocre race here.
I don't know, Tyler Cassidy, I suppose. He doesn't really.
I suppose both Alpines, maybe.
Leroy went on stop for some reason, but maybe that's his own problem.
It's a weird one for Leroy, as Morris Stumer has given up the ghost, and it is. It's not going to be a double point scoring day for the Scuderia. It is. It's been a mixed bag maybe for Ferrari this season in terms of the constructors' standings. They currently sit 5th. But I think a lot of those points are from a Vestago Badi or a reserve. Morris has picked up 4 this season. All 4 of them came at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yafan Panguru, he's just pointed out in the stream chat. Make sure to get your thoughts heard in the stream chat, of course, folks. We'd love to hear them. He has just said he's in 6th. However, I have just noticed he's not made a pit stop yet. So he is a little bit of an outlier in this train.
Yep, maybe he's hoping for a late third safety car. So, I guess we saw that. Hang on, he's in now.
Did you just stay out yapping purely so you could say you were 50? Then he sped in the pit lane. Oh my goodness me. That's not a good 2 minutes for Yafan Panguru.
Yeah, not sure what the whole plan was here, but I don't think we're
I don't think there was a plan, Brendan. I think that's the problem, as Kyle has retired from his first race as a past driver in Season 12. He's retired in the track as well, so...
what a disaster, you will say.
Yeah, he's crumbled when the lights shine brightest, unfortunately, for Kyle. And he usually performs when the lights shine brightest, because my goodness me, was Abu Dhabi a spectacle for him. It was literally the most anticipated race in FVR history, and then Kyle Albert wins it. Like, that is the kind of thing you see in like Wattpad stories and fan fictions.
What? But hang on.
Yeah, I think I've made the wrong reference there. I don't really want to elaborate on what I've just said, but
yeah,
if you know, you know. I say no more. As safety car should realistically be in this lap. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be in. We're going to come up to the safety car line, sector 3 split. Now, should say it now. Yes, it does, absolutely. And it'll be Legend Rosenberg who leads the restart.
Yeah, to say then that Rosenberg now, if you want a good restart, you see yourself, you can hold it a little bit later, so I wonder, what will he do? Will he try to go early, catch them out, or hold off so nobody gets the slipstream?
Historically, he's held off. And not really now. He's kind of just gone as soon as the safety car came in.
No,
we go racing again, but Gobadi's got a lunge and a half on the back of Legend Rosenberg. The Ferrari was well on the ball there, and is he going to try lunge it down the inside? No, but he's got Luke Davies on his outside. Defended all right there from Avesta Gobadi. It was looking like Luke maybe had a run on him, as there's Cam Duggar. Swoops past Conor Rochford. He's on the soft tyres, of course. He'll be very quick in this stint, as it's Christian Collins who's fallen down the back of the order. We go in towards turn number 5 now for the 12th time in this Brazilian Grand Prix. It's Rosenberg, Gobadi, Davies, Davison, but keep an eye on the man in 5th. This is Cam Duggar. He is a man on a mission.
Yeah, he's going to have to use them stops now and just hope that he'll be able to hang on a little bit later. Because, well, Leroy actually, he's the one who needs to be moving up a little bit quicker. because he's ninth, whereas Dolgar is fifth, which basically is Fair's best position he really can be.
What
for
Khan
now,
is
really, if
taking
he
the
can-
risk here is he's hoping for another safety car where everyone comes in for a second set of tyres. That's the risk these two guys have played. Honestly, not a bad risk at all. I think if there was an average, if someone did the statistics on it, it would be about 2 safety cars a race here at Brazil. We do seem to get quite a few of them, so it's not a bad gamble. That's not a bad move by Julius Gassner, who's now up to 11th here in this Brazilian Grand Prix, but he has got Adrian Teishi right in his slipstream, down in towards turn number 1. Tyler Davison and Luke Davies are battling further up, though. It's Davies now on the outside, Davison on the inside. This is very Verstappen-Hamilton-esque in towards turn number 2 and 3. Davies will have the inside down the Rethra Oposta. Davison trying to pick up the slipstream as much as he can, but here comes Kandolger. The Turkishman has got the both of them in towards the Decido del Lago. Khan has pulled the wool over the two championship contenders' eyes.
Yeah, and he very much now is just going to be. He is going to have it. It's become a bit of a cork in the bottle, really. Because now, Davies, Davison, they're going to be stuck. They're going to end up having to try pass him, and it's just going to lose them more and more time.
The reason Yaffin stayed out, by the way, was he was in AI mode and the AI didn't pit. That's the explanation he's just given us. So, I mean, when we said he didn't have a plan, he literally didn't, because he wasn't in control of his car. Here comes Tyler Davison. This is around number 2. They both went back to the corners. They got a pep talk, and now Tyler Davison's going to go for it again. Thought he might have gone for the lunge there, but he thought better of it. Tyler Pastilli's gone for the lunge on the Red Bull of Conor Rochford. Rochford defends nicely, heading through turn number 2, but Pastilli still got a launch and a half, and now he's going to try it round the outside, and he's going to try and reminisce on a move he made in a Red Bull, on a Red Bull, round the outside through turn number 3. Bish, bash, bosh. Pastilli's up to 6th.
Yeah, Pastilli really moving up now, and his namesake is the next one up. So, after a long, long time, I believe the Tyler Civil War shall be reenacted.
Apologies, folks, if you did get a bit of lag there. That that's an issue on my end. I apologise. Should iron itself out. Hopefully, it just seems to be Sky Internet once again having a masterclass. So apologies if you are experiencing a bit of latency, a bit of lag. Should all hopefully fix itself in a few moments' time. As we do see, Nils Hartl get past Julius Gassner. Oh, that's actually a nudge in the straight between Julius and Nils. We saw a free car collision heading through the Arqui Bancadas on lap number 1 a few years ago, as that does seem to be Rochford back past Pastilli.
Yeah, I think these two, they probably should probably avoid fighting this. They want to keep up with that group. They probably don't want to be going side by side too much.
It seems like Rochford let him back through.
At least no, but Rochford struggling for ERS, so is Pastilli. Davison has a bit, and Davies is even lower. I think a lot of these guys are just now trying to push their batteries, which I thought they might have been holding off a little more, but seems like now everyone's just a little bit more willing to use what they have.
Also, very intriguingly, and I suppose it goes to show the pure pace Legend and Avesta has, Kandolger literally drove past Luke and Tyler. He's only caught a handful of tenths of a second to the top 2. Legend and Avesta are it's definitely a 2-horse race for the win of this race. If they wanted to pull, they could, and they've started to pull that gap. Kandolger no longer has DRS.
He is out of it now. He has no ERS to push himself with. So, yeah, and that's Davison past Davies. So, at least one, managed to right one wrong from the start there. And obviously, once it gets past Dolger, it might be third, which is probably a fair enough result, I'd say.
Yeah, as Khan, I thought, might have been able to get closer to Avesta and Legend and maybe even take the race lead for a brief point, but we still got 20 laps in this race. Khan needs the safety car maybe in about 5 of them. and then it could be mediums or softs to the end, depending on when the safety car comes out, of course. But lap 16 out of 36 here, this Brazilian Grand Prix. Hope you're enjoying the action at home, folks. It's been an intriguing one here in Sao Paulo. Maybe not the most action-packed race, but there is a lot still to be determined. So let us know your thoughts. Remember, you can comment on our YouTube live stream. You can get in touch with us on social media, or you can join our Discord server if you have any questions later after the race, as we do love hearing from you guys at home. Big thanks once again for the support. But more importantly, in terms of the race, this is now becoming the freeway fight between Pastilli, Denhire and Rochford, and they have lost touch to that top 5.
Yeah, this stage they are just losing that the touch. Tim Higher doing well enough for himself there. Some might say he won't need to report at this moment in time,
What?
but he was just trying to get that next race off the Stilly, particularly if he's got the medium tires. It's doing pretty good at this stage.
Yeah, the mediums still seem okay. Mediums, if you save them, you could almost stretch them to about 20 laps. So there's still plenty of life left in the mediums. Denhire on a good tyre here for another little bit of the race. I'm not sure if they'll quite make the end, but he's not the only one on them. There's a lot of drivers on that medium tyre who will be working towards the common goal, as Legend Rosenberg and Avesta Gobati now 1.7 clear of Can Dulger. I'm not sure if Can being in front of Tyler and Luke has helped or hindered them. I'm thinking the latter.
Yeah, you see Davison, he's going to get past there. Not too bad. I think you were correct getting stuck behind Soldier in the first place.
Yeah.
Down to 1.8 and just any chance of a race win or P2 was gone.
Yeah, I agree with you. Unless we get into the safety car, of course, and it comes out conveniently after Legend and Vest have passed the pit lane or something similar to Saudi, maybe. But, no, certainly Can got ahead, well within his right to get ahead, but his pace kind of fell off immediately. And that did really hinder Tyler and Luke. And speaking of it falling off completely, Can has fallen off the race circuit. It's down the order for Dulger. And that's not what he wanted, because the race was still going well for him. It mightn't have been going well for Tyler and Luke, but he was still in a good spot. He's now down to 9th.
Yeah, it's not the best of laps there. You lose the places you'd made, and then you just fall down the order. That race, it's pretty much gone for him now. He's behind Leroy, and then so it's not even like he's the leader of his own strategy. Very much once he pits, he's going to be out the points. Maybe the medium runners here might have to stop again. But even then, they probably could push on and stretch it out really if they really, really wanted to, maybe.
If they really, really, really wanted to stretch it medium. I'm sure there's a Spice Girls joke while we're looking at the Red Bull of Legend Rosenberg. But that's not for this live stream. There's a lot of people who need to save the car really here. Tyler would like one to get back within that DRS gap, but he's slowly making inroads on it anyways. He's got half a tenth of a second. But catching 2 seconds to a driver, it sounds easier than it is. Catching 2 seconds to Legend and Avesta while they're just working together, you may as well try break into Fort Knox, as it's not an easy task. Here comes Tim Denhire, late braking up the inside in towards turn number 1 on Connor Rochford. Rochford now trying it round the outside. Denhire is going to just tuck into the slipstream and try get the job done back in towards turn number 1. It was the up and under potentially for Tim Denhire, but now it's just going to be a straight dive down the inside. Here he goes. It's Denhire on the inside, Rochford on the outside. There's contact between the two of them. Vincendl's just completely gone off the wayside. He's just completely gone off the circuit, and an ill-timed mistake there for Leroy Vincendl. But Tim Denhire is ahead of Connor Rochford.
Yeah, so good job from Tim Denhire getting the place on Rochford. Not a bad race for Tim. Be dread to see if he'll have to pit again, particularly if the others aren't hard. They probably have a little more leeway. Particularly if another safety car came out and everyone was on level pegging. It'd be in for a very, very fun race. I would say Luke Davies, he nearly lost a bit of time there with Cam Douglas spin because it happened right in front of him. But I'd say fourth place, probably, I don't know, maybe not the kind of result he wanted after just taking the championship lead, but in a way, his pace is probably fourth fastest for this weekend, so it might just be a case of he got what he did much as he could have.
So this is Rochford and Dunhar continuing on. As you can see, the championship standings on your screen. Only 4 points separate Luke Davies and Legend Rosenberg. As that's Julius Gassner out of the Grand Prix. Oh, that's a big collision. There is debris everywhere. And something has gone shattering across the circuit. And that is a safety car. It is brought out by Julius Gassner of Mercedes. And that is a nasty whack for Julius, it seems. But that has picked up the spanner, and it has well and truly thrown it into the works.
Yep. Now the pit stops will come out. Let's see what tyre to go for this time.
Said a medium, surely.
Oh, and that's
Christian
Collins.
Oh no.
You see, Rosenberg getting the baddie in. Davison in prop. Oh, never mind.
Oh, Tyler. Oh no.
Oh.
That is not what you
think
need in a situation like this. That is a blunder. That is an absolute blunder.
Oh, they're all going soft. I have to say that it's just not what you need. Particularly when you do technically still have a chance of a race win. Like, Davison's pace while in qualifying was best of the rest behind Rosenberg. So, I wonder. But still in the mediums, interesting call. Would be strong towards the end of the race if you can just hold off the likes of Tim. The others going for maybe fresh mediums they didn't have, the others didn't have. Which would be odd, but maybe some of them just think softs are better tyres. Would you think it'd be soft or medium for you personally?
I would have gone mediums personally, but I talk about races and I don't drive them for a reason, so that's everything you need to know. I think the softs could go to the end, but the mediums 100% can make the end of this race. No question about that. They can 110% make the end of this race. Softs, there's questions. And unless maybe Tyler was hit into the pit lane or something, but that's a mistake you can't really afford when you're in a great position like this. He now mightn't even finish in the top 5, depending on how this battle goes. That's not good. That really isn't good when you're competing against two drivers who are, well, Legend not really, but Luke certainly. He's very much known for his consistency. And if he can just picks up a third here, alright, he might lose the championship lead to Legend Rosenberg, but he's still be ahead of Tyler. And that's kind of what happened to Tyler last season. He was keeping with Legend and Luke in the championship, but then eventually he just slowly started falling off. The results weren't as good. I'm just having a look at Tyler's live stream. I'm going to just go slowly here and see. He gets under the threshold. No, it is his own fault. I thought I might have seen a bit of contact between himself and Luke, but Luke was way behind. It's his own fault. He broke too late, and I think he thought the line was a lot later than it was, which can go off from time to time. But yeah, that's a 5 seconds he's earned in his own right. Unfortunately, Luke was close to doing it himself as well, but. Yeah, that's a big error for Tyler Davison. But there's no point dwelling on it from our perspective, because we have a race on our hands. It is 13 laps or so to go. We are in this Brazilian Grand Prix with Legend Rosenberg, who leads the safety car race start once again. But that doesn't necessarily mean he'll have the advantage. Gobadi got an absolute cracker of a start under the last safety car, as Legend Rosenberg has led many an FVR safety car. He knows what to do in these situations. He's going to let the safety car pull into the pit lane. He can go from any point now. He'll hold. He will hold heading through the Aqui Bancadas, and now we go racing. That is a brilliant start from Legend Rosenberg. Or has he gone? Actually, no, he's held them. I thought he went, but he has held them. He just picked up the pace a little bit, and now we go racing. And he has caught Avestigo Badi napping. He's not caught Tyler Davison napping, and I thought Tyler was going to maybe try and lunge down the inside. Legend Rosenberg leads the Brazilian Grand Prix. Avestigo Badi second, Tyler Davison third, with Luke Davies right behind. There's a lot of movement in the backpack. This is Adrian Tishy, who's looking to get ahead of Bor Bune. This is a battle for 9th position between the two former McLaren drivers, as here comes Luke Davies.
Oh, it looks like Davison might just be losing out on wheel-to-wheel battle at the moment, but he's got the inside. He's got it done. He's held it, so well done to Tyler there, but that penalty is still going to hang over his head.
Yeah, but still crucial to stay ahead of Luke, I think, here, because I think Luke almost needs to try to go with Tyler cutting through the pack, or cutting through the front two, which, again, way easier said than done. Tim Den Higher up to 6th, piling the pressure on the Canadian native of Tyler Pistilli as the battle for 5th place, and could be big points for Aston Martin in what's been not necessarily their best season in Formula Virtual Racing so far. This is the two wide between the two blue cars, the Alpine and the Williams, and now Christian Collins, who is the owner of a drive-through penalty, is trying to go around the outside of that Williams. He'll be in to serve it now, is Christian Collins, and that's unfortunate for him. That'll drop to the back unless we get another safety car. It will drop into the back with really no way back forward, if that makes any sort of sense, as Leroy Vincendel is oh no, that's Adrian Tishy who's dropped places. That's Adrian Tishy who has gone round and off the circuit.
Oh, not great for Adrian there, because that was a decent opportunity for points, and then he had a penalty hanging over his head, but even then you just have to be there and hope that things go your way, and if you're not there, then not much you can really do. It'd be interesting to see if any of these big top 4 have warnings on so far. Rosenberg, 1 warning, I think. Batty, he's 1 or 2. And then there's for the rest, some warnings there for Tyler, but some of them could be collision warnings. I think Davies, 2 warnings. Could be collision for one of them. Very much, I'd say it's going to be a straight fight, really, except for Tyler.
As Rosenberg fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Once again, apologies if you're experiencing a bit of latency. Should be fixed all again, but there was a little bit of lag on one of those laps there. As lap 26 out of 36, Julius said there was a real chance for points today, so he's feeling a little bit disheartened for that. Wow, Pistilli almost right into the back of Luke Davies. This is Conor Rochford, the Wexford man, trying it around the outside of Bor Bune. Oh, that's a brilliant move from Rochford if he can pull this one off. Bit of a nudge between the Dutchman and the Irishman, but Conor Rochford is ahead, and once again, a steady driver showing that he can go wheel to wheel, and Rochford is ahead of Bune for now, but that could certainly swap. Bune on the soft, still very quick car underneath him.
Yeah, Bune, so got a good opportunity there to make up some places, but the soft tires will, every lap that gap between them and the medium starts converging, and then it'll expand in the other way. So particularly, I'd say for the medium runners, especially if Pistilli, it's really game on now, because if you've survived up to this point, you probably can start thinking about moving up the order.
Yes, certainly. Once again, apologies if you are experiencing some lag, folks. I think I have a fix. The fix being moving my laptop closer to the router, but I think I have a fix. As we see, Avestigo Badi is going to go for the race lead. No, just stays behind for the time being. He seems to get closest in towards turn 3. Would that be the opportunity you try to expose if you were Avesta, Brendan?
I believe turn 3 would be the left-hander, no? So wouldn't we
turn 5. Sorry, it's the
turn 4.
Turn hell. Yes,
4.
it's turn 4.
Yeah, I said turn 4 very much. It's known for a couple of moves, whether obviously some drivers may have used certain tactics to keep their places there, but eventually
that's a Max Verstappen reference. Say it how it is.
Well,
I'm a Verstappen fan. I'm allowed to mention it.
Oh yeah, but I'm just trying to protect some feelings. But I'd say Davies, he's out with DRS, and well, I think Neil Hartle is out of luck.
Yeah, I think he is. It's not been the best of races really for Nils. Julius says Nils was involved in that incident as well, so Might be a bit of a post-race investigation if your name is Niels Hardle, unfortunately, as Adrian Tishy makes a move as well.
Oh,
As
Pastilli's
we
got the
also
move
see
done.
Pastilli past Luke Davies. Really, Luke has had a bit of a shocker since that safety car restart, and that is Cam Dulga getting past Tim Denhire. Cam has really been a beneficiary of that safety car, as that is Christian Collins, who becomes your 4th retirement from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lap 28 out of 36, still undecided at the top. But Luke Davies, I tell you what, he's very lucky Tyler does have that penalty, or this could have been a bad weekend for him points-wise.
Yeah, but you have to think he could start falling back further and further.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, wow. That is a safety car. I'm not overly sure what that's like. Oh, it's for Adrian. Adrian Tishy's out of the Grand Prix. That's a crash heading through Ferradura in through turn number 6. He's gone off very to the Charles Leclerc line. Oh, wow, we've pitters. We have them all into the pits. Luke Davies stays out. Luke Davies stays out in the Brazilian Grand Prix. He does this a lot, Luke. He likes to go for an alternative strategy. Luke clearly feels track position is way more important than fresher tyres. We've seen this before, Season 2 Brazilian Grand Prix. Karem Demirtas, Tim Wenting, Benjamin Bulwark. 2 were on fresh and 1 was on older tyres. I can't remember which was which, but I remember that was the situation. Leroy also stays out.
I think Karem was on the older tyres.
Yeah, and he won the race.
Won. Similar to Davies just last week, who stayed out on very old mediums, won the race. Oh, and I think Gavati's jumped Rosenberg in the pits.
Oh, oh my goodness me, he has! How's Avesta done that? He's ahead of Legend Rosenberg. It was snoozy time for us in the commentary box because I simply didn't think that was possible. Has Legend maybe got blocked by a double stack or something somewhere? That is peculiar. I'll have a look on Tyler Davison's perspective to see what happened. But yeah, it was in the stops because Avesta didn't overtake him into the pit lane. That would be illegal if he did that. You're not allowed to overtake under safety car conditions. I simply think it was yeah, Vesta just got ahead. That's really weird. But I mean, he's ahead of Rosenberg. It's a crucial position, and may I also say, it's a polar opposite if your name is Leroy Van Schendel. You were the man doing the business on the fresher tyres last week, you're now the man on the old tyres, and may I also say, Yafin Panguru is currently in a podium placing. Do I think that'll last? Unfortunately, no, but this is still very much a positive for Yafin Panguru.
Yeah, I suppose if this is IndyCar and you got points for being in third, well, the IndyCar style system, and laps for being in first, laps for being points for being in third. This would be very good for him, but unfortunately you just don't get points for existing in a position during the race. So
would kind of defeat the purpose. Although I was at a racing event today where everyone in the field got a medal, which I thought was a bit peculiar, considering it's the first round of the season. But yeah,
yeah.
Although it is a championship designed for teams, so might have something to do with, I suppose, encouraging them to race. But nonetheless, we don't hand out participation medals here in Formula Virtual Racing. We give one winner across the season, that's the Drivers' World Champion, and then one team winner, and that's the Constructors' World Champion. And I tell you what, Luke Davies has got to fight if he wants to keep that Drivers' World Championship lead. But crucially for him, he does have Leroy and Yathin behind. If Leroy and Yathin were to cause all sorts of carnage, it might allow Luke to run away with this. And also, another big thing, Tyler has now served that penalty. So he is officially back in this race in the position that he is in, I suppose, if you'd like to say. Luke would give anything for this safety car to stay out. Unfortunately, it will not. It'll be in.
Yeah, it's obviously Tyler's had to take the hit of but hang on, so there's a kerfuffle there between some of the drivers there.
It was Avesta and Legend. Legend almost overtook Avesta heading into Yunsao. I imagine Luke Davies is going to wait as long as possible here on the safety car restart, because he literally needs to to keep this race as neutral as possible for as long as possible, because if Legend and Avesta get one sniff at Luke on fresh tyres, he could be a goner. But now we go racing here in Interlagos. That's a cracking restart from Luke Davies. That's an excellent launch, but Avesta Gobadi and Legend Rosenberg immediately side by side in this Grand Prix in towards the centre S's, and Legend Rosenberg has fallen behind Tyler Pastilli. He almost fell behind Yathan Pankuru. Yathan already down to 6th. Legend is behind Tyler Pastilli. Avesta is almost already up to Luke. This is an amazing restart from Avesta Gobadi. Leroy Van Schendel takes an offensive line in towards turn number 4, and he's almost going for the race lead here. He wants amends from Saudi Arabia. He wants amends from Saudi Arabia, and it's around the outside from Leroy Van Schendel. If he had pulled that off, that would have been one of the most amazing moves I might have ever seen. But unfortunately, him going for that move has proved costly, because he now has his teammate past him, he now has Gobadi past him, he now has Rosenberg past him. The 9-lap old mediums are just not at the races. Avesta Gobadi is in prime position to try and win this Grand Prix. He's right behind the Dark Trace sponsored McLaren rear wing, and he's going to do everything to try and shoot past the world champion in towards turn number 1. It'll be the outside for the Acqui Bancadas. Tyler Pastilli's going for the inside. Pastilli's tried the Hakkinen move in towards the first corner. Pastilli leads, but Gobadi with one of his classical lunges down the inside. Oh, this is dicey. This is cracking racing from these two. It's scrappy, but it is just about on the limit. Davies back ahead, still 2 by 2 in towards turn number 4. Pastilli has the race lead. Gobadi's the inside in the battle for second. It's Pastilli, Gobadi, Davies, Rosenberg.
I'm going to have to say there, Luke did give Avesta a bit of a squeeze, but I'm not sure why Avesta took that out on Pastilli there. That was a bit rash. But I think Pastilli, if he was to return to FVR after a bit of long enough absence and win on return, it would be one of the...
Here comes Legend Rosenberg, dive down the inside into the duck spill, the Bico de Pato, and that has allowed Tyler Davison to get past Luke Davies as well. Luke Davies is down to 5th here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. All his rivals in the World Championship, except Lewis McWilliam, who's not here of course, are currently outscoring the young man.
Yeah, that championship lead is going to be gone, pretty much so. I think maybe not as much as it would have been if this was all for first, but obviously Pastilli and Gobadi are kind of keeping that championship battle.
Now his old teammate is trying it. Cam Dulger is trying to get past Luke Davies as well. My goodness me, was that close between the two that won the Constructors' title together. Here comes Dulger around the outside. There's contact. Luke Davies has maybe chopped off the front of Cam Dulger there. I think that was okay. I don't think there'll be a penalty or anything to come from that. I think it was just sort of a 2-into-1 doesn't go scenario. But my word, was that close? And my word, is it close to the front of this race? This could go to anyone, literally.
Yeah, very much so. I think Gobadi here should win this race realistically. Admittedly, that move, the dive and Pastilli was not probably the most pretty, but
I think it cost them.
I think yeah. But it's
Pastilli, big mistake from Pastilli for Yun Sao. It's Gobadi's time to pounce, but crucially, he's not managed to get ahead, and he has actually been held up a little bit by Tyler Pastilli. That's going to allow the mighty, mighty Legend Rosenberg to have a go on the Ukrainian in towards turn number 1. Gobadi has to commit to the overtake down the inside on the Canadian. Here he goes. Who hits the apex the better? It is Gobadi, but Pastilli's hung it round the outside excellently, very effectively as well. He's got a fiery exit over that corner. Legend Rosenberg into the slipstream of Gobadi once again, trying around the outside in towards turn number 4. It's a no-go opportunity for Legend, and I quite frankly do not know how any of those guys have not swapped position at that instance.
It is very odd, but I'd say Pastilli's been excellent there with the defensive
higher. He's just taken to the grass to get past Leroy Van Schendel.
Oh no!
Oh no, it's Davison! Oh no, it's Gobadi, sorry! It's Avesta Gobadi, what's gone on there?
I spun. I need to see if that was Rosenberg causing contact or just Gobadi losing on the braking. Honestly could not tell you.
Avesta Gobadi in the Ferrari is down to 7th in a race that he could have well won. It's a 3-horse race at the front 4, potentially, if Cam Dulger can get the move on between Pastilli, Rosenberg and Tyler Davison. Rosenberg will feel this is his to lose now in this instant. Pastilli will be feeling, he'll be like, right, Gobadi couldn't get past me. Now it's your turn, champ. as in towards turn number 1. It's Bastilli who still leads. Legend Rosenberg still tucked up behind the Alpine, but he's looking to get a good exit. He's been behind an Alpine and Lewis McWilliam for a lot this season. He's not been behind a Canadian, I think, once this season, on maybe a pit instance with Adrian Tishy or something, but yeah, it's a new challenge for Legend. It's not Lewis who he's trying to attack. It is Tyler Bastilli. It's a driver and a driving style he won't be too familiar with, but Davison has dropped out of DRS, and this could be Legend's win.
Yeah, I think Legend will be thankful for that. It'll be tied potentially between Davison and Rosenberg at this moment.
Davison catching, mind you. A bit of silly beggars here, I think, from Tyler Bastilli. I think he's actually trying to hold up the Dutchman. Wow, that's a turn for the books. I think he's maybe trying to play a Luke Davies / Thomas Main tactic in towards Yun Sao. Rosenberg certainly breaks the later, but I mean, this line is working for Bastilli, so why differ from that? Through the Acqui Bancadas to start the final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It has been an absolute fantastic race here in the late stages as Legend Rosenberg goes for the race lead to try and win the Brazilian Grand Prix. In towards turn number 1, Rosenberg is well ahead, but Bastilli might be able to have a fight down the Retro Oposta and into the deceit of the leg. Oh, he's got the run of them! He's got the run of them! Round the outside, Tyler Bastilli leads the Brazilian Grand Prix. Davison down the inside of the Dutchman. There's contact between the two. Off the circuit goes the triple world champion. Tyler Davison has got the job done. There'll be some questions about that one, certainly considering previous incidents in Brazil. And Legend's going to dive now down the inside. Bit of a late move from Davison. These two are all elbows out. There is a lot of love lost between these two, and it's certainly been shown here on the race circuit. In towards the Bica de Pato. It is Red Bull versus AlphaTauri, the team which Red Bull supplies. Rosenberg is back ahead. He shows his killer instincts when he has to. And in towards Yun Sao, this could well be a drag race to the line. Eddie Yun Sao goes Bastilli. He's got a good run. Rosenberg is into the slipstream. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough even in Lewis McWilliam's absence. Alpine have won the Grand Prix. Tyler Bastilli wins his second FVR race in what can only be described as incredible fashion. Legend Rosenberg will have to settle for second.
Yeah, and Gabadi's got Davies on the line, so a bit of a rough race for Davies, I must say.
Would you believe, by the way, that is Legend's second position in FVR. It's only the third time he's finished second, and he's not going to be happy with it. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah. I'd say Tyler Bastilli, that was some brilliant racing to get that win. Like, it was textbook defending, and just calculations to just be right place, right time, make the move at the right corner on the right lap. Like, everything had to be in place to win that race, and he made sure everything was in place.
That was a fantastic ending to a race. If you're not enjoying this FVR season, I don't know what's wrong, because that was... I'm not sure if Rosenberg and Davison's fight there, whether it was for ego purposes, but it was for a lot more than just position. Tyler Bastilli takes the race win here in Sao Paulo from 17th on the grid. This man is obscene.
Oh my.
This is bizarre, as Legend finishes in second. Then it is Davison, Dolger, Gobadi, Davies. Then it is Vincendel, Bune, Den Heyer and Hartl picks up the final point. Rochford out of the points in 11th. Then it is Penguru, and your non-finishers were Tishy, Collins, Gassner, Albert and Morris Stumer, who retired very early on. But I tell you what, Brendan, there's a lot of talking points after that one. Gobadi, maybe a bit of a fumble. Davies, maybe a bit of a fumble from him. And Davison could have been a win without a penalty.
Yeah, I think he will really be regretting that penalty now. And I think he'd be also regretting the fact that if he had just not, I don't know, been overtaken there in the middle of that last lap, it would have been a Tyler 1-2.
We've had a same name 1-2 in qualifying before, but never in the race. We had a Liam 1-2 in qualifying in our only Chinese Grand Prix, but that certainly wasn't the race result. And And I don't think we're having a legend one too anytime soon. I've done another Luke though. Sorry, let's bring. Sorry, Luke. Let's bring in our top three, then, shall we? Tyler Basili, Tyler Legend Rosenberg, and Tyler Davison. Well, firstly, it's not often we get this man on the podium, but for a second ever time, Tyler Basili, you have won a Formula Virtual race. Um, did you imagine winning that when you qualified 17th? You are on mute as well, by the way. Hello, Tyler.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a bit.
Um, did you imagine winning this race when you qualified 17th?
Absolutely not. I didn't qualify because I didn't want to mess up, the championship standings and whatever. That's what I usually do when I'm a reserve in any kind of league. But honest to God, it was just pure luck. I mean, yeah, my setup really helped towards the end. It helped throughout the entire race, got me past a bunch of, well, everyone.
And
And
the last couple of laps there, incredible fighting between you, the two guys we have in the interview room with us, and Avesta Badi. How did you keep your cool? How did you come up with the defensive approach? Because that was really impressive to keep those behind.
well, I mean, I just did what I always do, always, just move to one side and stick with it. Once again, my setup really helped there because of my straight line speed and advantage in ERS, I guess. What kept me ahead. So, yeah.
And final question from me. Um, would it have anything to do with the fact you won this race due to the fact I forgot to play your favourite advert in the break between qualifying and the race?
Absolutely.
Brendan, any questions?
I do have to say at the end there.
Sorry, actually, I have to
you
give
were,
context. Tyler Bastilli hates the Similar's clothing advert where I do the voiceover.
I don't hate it.
He is on record saying bad things about that advert. I agree with you, but sorry, Brendan, your question.
So you managed to hold off Legend there at the end, but also with Avesta. Um, Obviously Avesta went for a bit of a dive on you there. There was probably a little bit, I don't know, might have been born of anger. But were you just a bit surprised, and did you think that, oh no, what's he doing, or you just it's just
Well, I mean, there's a
it,
small thought of that, but I immediately knew that with my setup, I'd get right back by him on the next straight. So I knew it was useless. He went deep. I just cut back in, pulled a little switch back, and that's it.
Tyler,
yeah.
thank you very much for that one. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to let you go. I would say enjoy your evening, but enjoy your afternoon, I think. That was
Yeah.
a fantastic performance. Now
Thank
over
you.
to the second place man, Legend Rosenberg. Legend, only your third ever second place in FVR. But would I be right in saying you're maybe not too happy with it? You would have preferred the win here today?
Um, yeah, of course. I was leading the whole race, and then again, a late safety car basically ruins everything again. But yeah, it is what it is. At least there are some good points today, unlike Jeddah. So yeah, for the championship, it's not that bad. But obviously, I wanted to win, and yeah, the last few laps were just a bit too crazy, and I think as well to overtake Tyler in front of me. He was running lowest wing setup, so yeah, was not really possible. And in the end, the other Tyler overtook me as well, and I had to overtake him in the middle sector, which was on the edge, but managed to do it. But yeah, not very happy, but I'm not very too upset about this as well. It's just a decent finish.
Yeah, it was all elbows out in the last lap between yourself and Tyler. He obviously went for the move into turn four, maybe pushed you a little bit wide, and then you went for a big lunge. Were you just given what you got given today, maybe in terms of the aggression? what was your thoughts on maybe how aggressive some drivers were in defending, overtaking?
Yeah, obviously, a lot of people or drivers on this grid, they are clean, but they can be very aggressive as well. And I want to keep it as clean as possible. I don't really show my aggression, but I think it's time to really bump the aggression a little bit up because, everybody is doing it against me as well when they're fighting me. So, yeah, if you give it, expect it back. So, yeah, that's really the mindset.
Brendan, any questions for Legend?
Yeah, obviously, were you? I just want to know, were you held up in the pit stops there for the last safety car? Because obviously, I saw Avesta did jump you in that, so I'm just going to ask, you were held up in that case, was it?
Mm, I don't know. I think it was just again a game glitch because I didn't really was held up. Pixel was good. I released the clutch perfectly, but I don't know. Sometimes the games, if it's so close, it just glitches, and yeah, a little bit unfortunate for me, but yeah, can happen.
Legend, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you joining us, and I'm sure we'll be chatting to you soon.
Thank you.
Tyler, it is a position you have come to know and love in third. Are you happy with how that race went? Maybe from your perspective, it was a little bit up and down.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, it was a fun race. I'll give it that. Obviously I got my 5 second penalty, which is my traditional brain fart moment of the season. We take that. Yeah, I was a P9 at the last safety car restart. I'd have took a top 5 at that point, to be honest. Yeah, so to get P3 was good. The last lap with Legend was it was aggressive, very aggressive. No potatoes on track this week though, so that was good. Not as far as I'm aware, anyway. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. Obviously it's another P3, so yeah.
I was gonna ask you actually, what were your thoughts on the driving standards here today? Because obviously you were very vocal about it last week. Yeah, was everything better, worse, about the same?
I thought it was well. I mean, I saw some chaos around the pack, but from my end, it wasn't too bad. I'd like to rewatch Legend on the like the the second DRS straight, sorry, on the last lap. I don't know if he moved on or not. I'd like to rewatch that, see what's what, because I thought I was gonna die. But yeah. Other than that, I thought it was better, to be honest. But yeah, it was a bit chaotic at the end, but I thought all around it was better than last week.
And sorry to interrupt the interview, Tyler, but just a bit of a report coming in. I believe this race win will be decided in the stewards' room again. Tyler Bastilli has been reported by Tim Denhire for unnecessary slowing down under the safety car to create a gap to his teammate. So it'll be a second week running where Tim Denhire basically decides the race win. But make sure you follow all our social channels for an update with that. Brendan, have you any questions for Tyler?
Um, well, I suppose when you did get that penalty, were you just thinking race over, or was it more of a look, or did you just try keep it more positive than that and just think, look, I'll get the best I can? Was-
Wasn't quite race over. That's it. Yeah, I thought my chance of a podium or anything was gone. I mean, I was praying for a safety car, and thank God one came. So obviously dropped me back a bit, but it kept me in the race, and obviously with a few guys staying out, it sort of backed the front guys up quite a bit. Avesta got bored and decided to hit a banana off Mario Kart, so he was backwards. So yeah, it was all right. Yeah, race over, no, but I did think that any sort of chance of a podium was gone. So to get P3 out of it in the end, I'm very happy with.
And one more quick thing, actually. Sorry, Legend very much vocal about the fact he dislikes safety cars being in the races. Do you hold the same opinion as him?
It depends on the extent. I mean, look, no one wants a safety car every other lap. Do you know what I mean? It ruins the flow or not. But when I think a race like tonight was probably a limit. Obviously, Legend's not going to like safety cars because he front runs as a guy of his pace probably should. So it's obviously he's not going to like it because it sort of disrupts him. But end of the day, a driver of his quality should be able to drive around that sort of issue anyway. So I think the fact he's quite vocal about it is, I find it very interesting to say the least. I think.
Do you think it's a case of trying the toys out of the pram?
I mean, look. End of the day, look, Legend is the quickest driver here. So the fact is safety car or not, he should be winning races. So I think it's a very interesting comment to make. I'll just put it like that.
Tyler, thank you very much for joining us. Greatly appreciate that one. Well, folks, that is all we do have time for here from Interlagos. What an absolute cracker that ended up to being here this evening. We will be back next Saturday evening, of course, at 8 p.m. British summertime, 9 p.m. Central European time, and then whatever the hell it is in America. And I tell you what, we have a little bit of a different challenge. It's the Monaco Grand Prix, a personal favourite of mine coming up next week, a personal favourite of a lot of drivers on the grid, and probably equally as hated by as many. But from myself and Brendan, I want to give a big thanks to you for joining, and thank you for putting up with the little bit of lag we experienced. Hopefully it wasn't too bad on your end, because we still got to witness a fantastic, fantastic race. That is all from Interlagos. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.
He's going to show us now.
This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.